Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Better English, the podcast where we give you the tools, mindset, and habits to speak English confidently and naturally. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake. Today's topic is one of the biggest challenges learners face: how to think in English without constantly translating in your head.
Exactly, that constant mental back and forth between your native language and English. It slows you down, makes speaking harder, and blocks fluency.
But the good news? You can train your brain to think directly in English, and today we're going to show you how.
Let's start with the problem. Jake, why is translating everything in your head a problem for English learners?
Because it creates an unnecessary barrier. Think about it like this. You see a cup, your brain thinks glass, and then it has to find cup in English. That's 2 steps just to say one word. It wastes time and energy.
And I imagine it makes speaking feel stressful, especially in conversations.
Exactly. When someone asks you a question and you have to mentally translate each part before replying, it creates pressure. That pressure leads to hesitation, and the conversation breaks down.
And in that pause, you start to feel nervous or even embarrassed.
Yes, it kills your confidence. And worse, you might avoid speaking at all because it feels too hard. But it's not your fault, it's just the system you've been taught. Many schools focus on grammar rules and translation, but that's not how we learn naturally.
So, to break free from that, we need to learn to think in English, not just know English.
Right. Thinking in English means you're reducing mental friction. The words come faster, more naturally. That's what fluency actually feels like.
Let's define it clearly. What does thinking in English really mean?
It means using English for your inner voice. For example, when you're walking to the fridge and thinking, "Ça la part," instead, your mind automatically says, "I'm hungry." It's switching your default language of thought for simple, daily things.
So it's not just about speaking out loud, it's also what's going on inside your head.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean you'll never use your native language again. But in English situations, at work, with friends, watching videos, you start to live in English. Even your self-talk shifts.
And I assume this doesn't happen overnight, right?
No, it's gradual. It starts with simple words and phrases. Then short thoughts. Then whole ideas. Eventually, your brain stops asking, "What's this in my language?" and starts working directly in English.
So we're retraining how the brain organizes language.
Exactly. And just like building muscles, it takes repetition, consistency, and patience.
Alright Jake, give us the action steps. How can someone start thinking in English today?
I love this part. Let me break it into 3 levels. Level 1. Label your environment. Look around your room or workspace. Mentally name every object in English: window, chair, laptop, pen. You're training your brain to associate the object directly with the English word.
That's something we do with kids, right? Labeling.
Exactly. And it works for adults, too. The brain learns by association. Do this every day and it becomes automatic. Level 2. Narrate your actions. As you go through your day, describe what you're doing in English. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm opening the fridge.
Even if it's simple, it builds fluency, right?
Yes. You're not trying to make perfect grammar. You're creating fluency through automatic speech. This is how children learn, by describing and hearing language used constantly. Level 3. Create mini dialogues. Start practicing short, imaginary conversations in your mind. "Hi, how are you?" "I'm good, thanks." "What did you do today?" "I went shopping." The more you do this, the more natural it feels.
Would you say it's okay to speak out loud or silently?
Both. Silent thinking is great for public spaces, but speaking aloud builds confidence and pronunciation.
What are the biggest mistakes people make when trying to think in English?
First, perfectionism. Learners try to create perfect sentences in their mind. But the brain doesn't need perfection, it needs repetition. Speak simply. Even if your sentence is, "I go store," that's still a win.
So don't be afraid of making mistakes in your head.
Exactly. You're not writing a novel, you're rewiring your brain. Another mistake is giving up too early. It feels hard at first because your brain wants to go back to your first language. That's normal.
So you just push through that discomfort.
Yes. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. It's wobbly at first, but eventually you balance without thinking.
Are there any tools or resources you'd recommend to help with this?
Definitely. A few powerful ones. Voice memos. Use your phone to record yourself thinking aloud. English journaling apps. Apps like Day One or even Google Docs can be great to write your thoughts in English daily. Shadowing tools. Apps like Elsa or simply YouTube videos. Listen and repeat what you hear. Immersion platforms. Watch shows or listen to podcasts made for English speakers, not learners.
So the more real English input you get, the more your brain starts mimicking it.
Exactly. You copy what you hear. And eventually, that becomes how you think.
Give us some fun ways to make thinking in English a daily habit.
Here are 3 mini challenges. 1-minute thought challenge. Pick a random topic, food, your day, weather, and think about it in English for 1 minute. Mirror talk. Look in the mirror each morning and say 5 sentences about how you feel or what your plan is. Silent zones. Pick one activity a day, like your morning commute or lunch break, where you only think in English.
Love that. Small challenges that build big results. Can we give our listeners a simple daily routine to build this habit?
Absolutely. Here's a 20-minute plan. Morning, 5 minutes. Narrate your actions while getting ready. Midday, 5 minutes. Pick 3 objects. Make a sentence with each. Evening, 5 minutes. Reflect on your day in 3 English sentences. Bonus, 5 minutes. Record yourself or do a mirror talk.
And how soon can someone expect results?
In 2 to 3 weeks, you'll notice your brain starts reaching for English first. It's exciting. It's like switching your brain's operating system.
So to wrap up, thinking in English is one of the most powerful ways to boost fluency, and it's 100% possible for every learner.
Don't wait until you're fluent to think in English. Start thinking in English, and you'll become fluent.
Pick one small habit from today and begin, whether it's labeling your room, talking to yourself, or doing the 1-minute challenge.
And if this episode helped you, share it with a friend. Follow our podcast, and leave us a review telling us, what are you thinking in English today?
Thanks for joining us on Speak Better English. Until next time, keep thinking, keep speaking, and keep believing in your progress.